Guess what the cities of Olympia, Lacey, and Tumwater are offering? Free pre-approved ADU plans, making it easier to add an additional dwelling unit on your property. Yes, they're free. Hi, I'm Francine Viola, Realtor in Olympia, Washington, and I wanted to share with you the latest news about ADUs here in the OTL, Olympia, Tumwater, Lacey. I'm going to see if I can make the phrase OTL a thing here. ADUs, also known as mother-in-law apartments or granny flats, are just not glorified sheds with an electrical outlet. They have a bathroom, kitchen, living and sleeping quarters, and are on a permanent foundation. So many of my clients are looking for properties with ADUs for extended family, or they want to rent them out and get a little extra income every month. If you live within the city limits of the OTL, Olympia, Tumwater, or Lacey, you can choose from 4 free pre-approved ADU plans to build a detached unit on your property. Now, if you don't live in the city limits, that doesn't mean you can't build an ADU. It just means you won't have the free building plans. The benefits of these pre-approved plans is that it can save you time and money by not having to design a structure, and it streamlines the permit process because the city will just need to approve the site plan, not the building plans too. First, if you are in a homeowner association, check with your HOA to see if ADUs are allowed. If ADUs are allowed, or you're not in an HOA with covenants, then your next step is talking with a city planner. The city planner can start looking at your property and giving you some basics on whether or not your property would be a candidate for an ADU. If things look good and you are interested in one of their approved plans, then they will give you the plans right there on the spot so you can start your feasibility of getting bids, lining up contractors, getting financing if needed, and then of course working with the city to get your site approved and submit your permit package for final approval. Olympia, Tumwater, and Lacey will have their specific requirements for the ADUs, but here are some generalities for what kind of site details the city will need. Zoning. Is the current property zoned for a potential ADU? Setbacks. An example would be the ADU would need to be positioned 15 feet from the back property line, 5 feet from the side property line, and at least 10 feet from the main house. Utilities. The main house property needs to be on a sewer system, as more than likely a home on a septic system could not support the ADU. Stormwater management. This not only includes how runoff from the roof of the ADU would be managed, but also the city will look at the ratio of impervious surfaces to non-impervious surfaces. Impervious surfaces are streets, patios, walkways, driveways, roofs, or anything else that does not allow water to flow through into the ground. Environmental issues. Just like when building a main home, you'll also need to go through the environmental studies if there are wetlands, slopes, endangered species on the property like pocket gophers, and anything else that could affect your building plans. Again, each city will have their specific requirements, but in general, there will be a limit to the size of the ADU. For the city of Lacey, the size is limited to 850 square feet, or 1/2 the size of the main house, whichever is smaller. So if you have a 1,200 square foot house, the largest ADU you could have would be 600 square feet. You can have 1 ADU per lot with a single family home. The ADU will need to have at least an off-street parking spot. The ADU will need to have pedestrian access to the unit, so a walkway to the unit. The ADU will also need to be positioned on the lot and built for privacy for the occupant as well as the neighbors. You may need to install a fence or design the ADU so that the windows aren't facing directly into another structure. Of course, the cost to build can vary as there are many factors, including the site work that needs to be done to the finishes used for the ADU, but a rough estimate is about $150,000 to $200,000. I was watching a town meeting for the city of Lacey on ADUs, and they said their permit fees were about $1,600 for an ADU, which is a huge discount from what it would cost to permit a house, which would be over $20,000. If you are not paying cash for the ADU, common financing options would be getting a home equity line of credit or home equity loan. You could also consider doing a cash-out refinance. But as I say, always speak with the experts to get the right information. Let me know if you'd like my contacts for some great local lenders here in the OTL. ADUs are a great idea and can be a nice upgrade to your home. Questions or need to know where to go next in your ADU journey? Give me a call. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.